Good morning, this is Garrett Forsberg, Employee Benefit Consultant with Forsberg Insurance, and welcome back to episode 3 of 401 Conversations. I do apologize, I know I said these were going to be weekly videos, and I did take a little bit of a break with the holiday shortened week last week, so I hope everybody had a good 4th of July, but we are back, and today we are going to cover how your service providers are paid. This is going to be the first of 2 videos on that topic, and today we are going to be talking about what is called direct compensation. So if last week, or last video I should say, was your College 101 course of understanding who your providers are, today direct compensation is going to be your 102 level, and next week when we cover indirect compensation, that is your capstone, your 103 level. So without further ado, let's get into direct compensation and how that works. So there's generally going to be 2 ways in which your administrative fees for your retirement account are being paid. The first is going to be a direct bill, and this is where one of your service providers, so remember from our last video, we're talking about your record keeper, your advisor, or your third-party administrator. One of these groups is going to, or all of these groups are going to send you a direct bill, and your accounting department is going to cut them a check. Now, I'd say the more likely way that you're paying your plan administrative fees is going to be from plan assets. So there's a couple ways in which this can be done. Probably the most straightforward and cleanest way to do it is for your service provider to quote you a flat dollar fee, which is done on an annual basis. So for easy math here, we could say that your advisor is charging you $16,000 annually for their services, which breaks down to $4,000 per quarter. And that $4,000 is deducted from plan assets or your participant account. So likely you would see that on your participant statement if you're looking at that. The most common way, and if you're watching this video, I would venture to say that this is the likely way in which your administrative fees are paid, are going to be in the form of basis points. And when we're talking about basis points, we are talking about 1/100th of 1%. So, we'll go back for easy math and say that you have a $10 million plan. Your advisor is charging you 20 basis points, which is 0.20%, and that amounts to $20,000 annually. That $20,000 is taken out of plan assets on a quarterly basis, so $5,000 per a quarter. Now, with basis points, one thing to keep in mind is that because it's not a flat dollar fee, as the plan assets rise, that compensation rises. As plan assets fall, the compensation falls for your advisor, other service providers. So it's just something to keep in mind on an annual basis, and go back and revisit. Now, the third way, and this is most popular in the third-party administrator world, is to charge a combination of a flat fee and a per head fee. So you may see something like a $1,500 flat fee plus a $10 per head fee. And the one important thing here with the per head fee to know is whether that is per an account balance or per an eligible employee. Depending on your particular plan, sometimes that can be a large spread. So in this example, we'll use a $1,500 flat fee and $10 per head, and we'll assume that you have 50 employees or 50 account balances in your plan. So that is another $500 for a total of $2,000 annually. That concludes direct compensation. Very straightforward, fairly easy to understand. Like I said, it's your 102 level course, nothing too challenging, but buckle up next week when we go through indirect compensation, a bit more challenging of a topic and a little bit harder to understand as far as where those fees are coming from. I appreciate you joining us for episode 3, and we will see you next week. Have a great weekend.